Alright guys, welcome back to the Star Wars figure review. Next today to take a look at one of the figures in the Black series from the Obi Wan Kenobi series line of figures. And the character in question is the Reva, the third sister Inquisitor. Now before we start properly looking at the figure, we'll take a look at the packaging that this one comes in. Now as you say, once again the same old Kenobi style of the packaging that we've had, like I showed you for the Grand Inquisitor figure earlier. On the side you do get the good shot of Reva as part of the mural, who is of course portrayed by Moses Ingram in the series. And of course either side you do get the fifth brother on one side, because Reva is number 3 in the lines. On one side you get the fifth brother and Darth Vader is number 2 on the line, so you do get those two on either side of the line. On the back there you do have the description of Reva the Third Sister Inquisitor. The quick basic bio. If you want to just pause the video and read that, you can find out what you want to know about that on there. And then of course it's just the same old slowly disappearing bubble with the card back on there. Sort of card back. As I said, the packaging is all 100% recyclable, but of course as we know, the bubble on these packaging is slowly disappearing and being replaced with a plastic-free packaging, which is of course, I'm all for, it's a good thing. But of course, not being able to see the figure in the packaging is a slight downside to it, but I know what they're going for regarding this, and yeah, it's very much something they're doing. So yeah, it's a good set of packaging that we've had some of the figures this way anyway. It's worked for mint on card collectors in that fashion, and this is just a good piece of packaging there, and just for a brand new character we had in the series. So we'll just take a look at the proper character now, and as I said, she is portrayed by Moses Ingram in the series Obi Wan Kenobi, and they capture the likeness really well there of the character who is there. So of course in the series we find out that Reva is a Jedi Padawan and she was in training, and then a few 501st clones sort of burst into the room with the training, and the Master led the younglings to run. The Master then got killed, and then Reva was sort of the one saying let we run or something like that. And then of course in the later episode it's revealed that she was among a group of younglings who were there, and then of course Anakin came out into the hallway. Of course he's Darth Vader at this point and slaughtered the rest of them, and Reva's main aim is an attempt to get back at Vader, and her intention was to draw Obi Wan Kenobi out of hiding, and in the hopes that Vader would immediately appear out of hiding, and then she would attempt to take over from Vader. That was the idea. That was her motive, and it seemed like a pretty decent motive as well from what came out. And I thought she was a good character. I mean, I saw what happened with regards to the character, because of course a lot of controversy surrounded this character, and even Ewan McGregor had to call out a lot of the fans over this. And honestly, yeah, I actually thought Reva was a good addition. I thought she had some decently written in parts of the storyline. Of course, she does get abandoned in the gut there by Vader and the Grand Inquisitor later on in the series, towards the end of it. But of course, they do have one final encounter on Tatooine, and that all turns out well. So yeah, but looking down, this is a great figure. I definitely think it was worth adding to a collection, especially if you want to grow a set of Inquisitors. This works in that fashion. We do get her lightsaber, Inquisitor's Lightsaber. You actually get two versions of this. I'll get to the other version in a sec. So this is the standard double blade lightsaber you get included with the figure. Probably the main one we want on there. Of course, it's only half circular part. Of course, Hasbro only decided to half do it. Usually what is shown in the series, well, Rebels sort of showed it with the Grand Inquisitor, that it is sort of made to look so it's sort of detachable, so you can have it as a single blade, double blade, however you want it, and that's how that works. And that works well there. The other versions of the lightsaber, because you do actually get two separate versions of the lightsaber alone, and this works well if, say, you wanted to display the scene in Part 5 of Kenobi where Reva attempts to get back at Vader, and of course Vader splits the lightsaber in two. He takes one half, she takes the other, and they fight each other, and then of course Vader stands victorious, and the Grand Inquisitor comes back and takes the role, takes the position back as Grand Inquisitor. So yeah, that's a good part. I mean, I did thoroughly enjoy the Kenobi series. I don't think it was anywhere near as disappointing as some people have said it is, and this character is a fine new addition. I hope to see some more comic books or novelizations or whatever, sort of documenting what will happen with her in the aftermath of Kenobi, or even some comic books like between Revenge of the Sith and Kenobi. I definitely want to see some good comic books or novels that'll just sort of fill in the gaps of timeline now. But look at the full there. You do get the soft goods cape for Reva on the side there, and all the armor plating and the belt. She's like full on Inquisitor look. Like all this armor that she's got as an Inquisitor really is really well sculpted. And Hasbro, Hasbro have gone all out. Like it's what I've said in recent reviews about figures just being the same old reuse and that. And there's sometimes when it's worked, or sometimes when it hasn't. Excuse me. But this is one of those times that they've gone really well out with the figure sculpting, and that's really gone there. And as I said, the sculpt for Reva's face there does really add to the character's dimensions on there, and just really captures the. There's plenty of poses you can get her in. Of course, there's a part where there's a Jedi trying to escape at the start in the first episode, and she has the lightsaber out, ready to strike. And on the side there, you can just fully pose that. But then there's also other little markings there on the side. You do get the Galactic Empire emblem, which shows she's a fighter of the Empire. And basically, whatever else comes out from that. I mean, there's very much a good view of a figure. I'm just going to switch back the lightsaber to the double-bladed one. And of course, because it just looks better in that fashion. Of course, the blades are detachable from this lightsaber as well. So if you wanted to just do it as is with one, you can just get the blade out. However, this is proving a little bit of a struggle, but I've got one of them out now so far. So I've turned it into a single-bladed lightsaber. So that's sort of how it is at the start of the series, because it's sort of cut in two to be. I believe it was separatable, so that's what works there. So you can have as I said, single blade with the full lightsaber, and then of course you can take the other one off. Excuse me. And you can take the other one off, and there is a peg on the lightsaber, as you can see there, and there is usually a slot on the side, just down there, where you can hook the lightsaber in to place. But it is quite a tight squeeze of the peg to get it in. But there we go, I've got it in. So there you go, you can have that in there like that, and then have Reva without the lightsaber and just standing there, or even so you could have that one plugged in, and then just have her wield one of the single-bladed ones as such, and it's just falling out of the peg right now. But yeah, you can have her wield the single-bladed one and the separate one like that. So just give a rundown on the articulation. You do get a ball-jointed head, the 2 points there, a butterfly shoulders along with the armor plate, which is move-upable, so you can definitely help avoid restricting the movement. Ball-hinged shoulders and ball-hinged elbows. The ball-jointed torso, ball-hinged hips, swivel thighs, ball-hinged knees, and the ball-joint rockers at the ankles. So it's a very much level of hyper articulation in the figure there, and it's very much, if you've been a fan of Kenobi and even just some of the Inquisitors we've seen in the show, this one is definitely a worthy addition to your collection. If you want to build up the characters from the show, definitely add this one in, because it's definitely worth the purchase for what's there. So yeah. So this is Reva the Grand Inquisitor from Kenobi. It's a really well sculpted figure, really well done, captured from the show. And it literally feels like you're holding the actual character in your hands at the minute here, and that's what this one does well. So yeah, I'll leave a link to where you can buy this one in the description below from Star Action Figures, and yeah, you'll be able to pick her up from there. And many other retailers will still most likely still have this one, some of this one in stock. So you'll be able to definitely get a hold of it as well. So that definitely is worth it. So yeah, Reva the Grand Inquisitor, the third sister, should I say. She does temporarily becomes the Grand Inquisitor, but it is then relinquished from her later in the series. So yeah, but I'll leave a link to where you can buy this one in the description below, as I've said, and then you'll be able to pick her up and add her to your own collection as well if you haven't already. But I do hope you enjoyed looking at the Reva Third Sister action figure from the Black Series line, and do drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to know when I've uploaded more content, and I'll see you next time.